everyone, this is Erica from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and today I have another Lapbook unit study to share with you. This one is The Call of the Wild, and it's retold from the Jack London original. We're using the Classic Starts version of this. These are great for younger readers, and they have comprehension questions as well as intuitive thinking questions in the back as well. So these are great translations to get started with the classics. If you'd like to see more about this study, stick around and we'll be right back. So here's the lapbook. It's just a regular trifold lapbook, and I have instructions on how to do this in the information box below. And then because this one had enough chapters, we actually added one more piece of folder to it, and then we just taped it along this seam right here just so we could fit them all in. As you can see, there are quite a few units to this one. I don't remember the exact chapter count. I think it was somewhere around 10 chapters, but they were really long, so I divided them up into sections. So each chapter comes with a mini book that corresponds to that chapter, and the students will cut out the mini book, color it, and then inside they'll answer comprehension questions that have to do with what they just read. So if we fold this back up and flip it over, on the back side, all of my units come with a series of reports. And we'll just cover these really briefly. The first one is a predictions report, and your child is going to fill that out based on the cover picture. That they're just going to say what they think happens, where it takes place, and then they can compare that with what actually happens once they're done reading the book. The second one is a timeline where they can note any specific events. So based on their ability, they can either write what happens, or they can draw like figures or stick figures or whatever they want to do. I leave that up to them. They'll also fill out a report that just has a few facts about the story, like the setting, the plot, the main character, and their favorite thing about it. They'll also have a report on protagonist versus antagonist, where they'll talk about what both of those terms mean, what the problem is, and what the solution is. And those terms are in your teacher's manual, which I'll show you in just a minute. And then they'll also fill out a final book report that talks about the author, illustrator, the summary of the book, and then their actual report, and then there's a place for illustration as well. And then all of my units also come with a book versus movie report, which if you can find an age-appropriate movie version of this, it's great to have them watch that and then compare and contrast it to the actual book version. So I just put all of these reports in a little pocket that we taped to the back of our lapbook, and this is just a half of a file folder cut and then taped along the 3 edges so that you can just fit your reports nicely inside of there. So that's the lapbook portion. And then all of my units also come with a teacher's manual. It includes instructions on how to put the lapbook together if you don't watch the video, but there's a link to the video in there as well. And then it also comes with specific instructions on what you need, how to prepare for it, what to do prior to reading, and then I'll do a close-up so you can see the teacher's instruction part. So here's a close-up of the teacher's manual, and each chapter comes with instructions on what pages they're to read and then what they're to do. Their worksheets have the mini book along with the questions that they'll answer inside, and then your teacher's manual has what the mini book they're supposed to do and then what questions they're supposed to answer as well as the answers. That way you can go through and check their work without having to stay ahead of them and read the chapters first. So it just makes it a lot easier for you to administer these. You can do them in one of 2 ways. You can either assign the units out individually to your students so that they can complete them on their own, or you can do it as a group and read the chapter together and then have your kids each make their own lapbook. So works really well for kids of all ages. We have done both. When our kids were a little bit younger, we did the group, and then they would go ahead and do the lapbook, and then maybe instead of writing, if they weren't able to, they could draw pictures, and then the older kids can do the writing and the reports and that kind of thing. So it's pretty flexible for whatever would work best for your family. So that's it. That's our Call of the Wild lapbook and unit study. I hope you enjoy this one. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at erica@confessionsofahomeschooler.com, or you can visit my website at www.confessionsofahomeschooler.com. And I hope you enjoy this unit, and I will see you next time.